Okay, hopefully you can see this. I know it's not perfect because it probably doesn't look anything like your calculator. I tried to download the calculators that look the most like ones you might have, but being free apps, I'm not really sure that they do. But they're close enough. You might have to search a little bit. But what we're looking for is a way to do the permutations and combinations formulas using our calculator instead of writing out all of the different steps. Now, I still would like you to write your setup. So if it's a permutation problem, do you know the one about you remember the Little League one? You have 13 kids on your Little League team and you want to choose 9 of them in your lineup. And so our setup was 13P9. I would still like you to show me that. That way I know you know it's a permutation. I know you understand there's a total of 13 kids and you're going to choose 9. But here's how you're going to do it in your calculator. You're going to find the NPR button. Do you see this button down here? It cuts underneath the multiplication sign that I'm pushing. Do you see it says NPR? Find that button on your calculator. Now, if your calculator doesn't look like mine, it might be somewhere else, and I'll show you guys that here in a second. But let's say it looks like mine. You're going to do 13. You're going to click that button, so Shift NPR, and then you're going to choose 9 and equals. And so it did it for us. How cool is that? Instead of having to do the 13 factorial over the 13 minus 9 factorial and reduce them and put it in your calculator will do it all for you. So 13P9. Pretty cool, right? All right, well, if it's a combinations problem, do you see the combinations button? This one is the one underneath my division sign, so you might have to find yours on your calculator. Do you remember the one about poker, right? We had 52 cards and we wanted to choose 5 of them and order didn't matter, so we knew it was a combination. Let's do 52. Let's do our NCR because it's a combination and choose 5. Again, making sure that you show me your setup so I at least know what you're doing. And then if you push equal, we got our answer, right? And so we don't have to do it all step by step by step like we did before. But make sure you show me your setup so I can at least give you partial credit and full credit if you make a mistake, and make sure I know you're doing it right by showing me your setup. Okay? So that's with this type of calculator. So if yours doesn't look like mine, maybe it looks a little more like this. Maybe it's a graphing calculator that you have. And so if it's a graphing calculator and it has the math option, so I'm going to choose math. I'm going to go over to PRB, that's probability. And do you see number 2 and number 3? That's my NPR and my NCR. Okay? So if I go back to my calculator screen and I want to do the 13 students or the 13 kids on my Little League team, I'm going to go math. I'm going to go NPR, that's number 2. And I'm going to do choose 9. And we get our answer right there, right? Same idea with the NP3. So if you have a math button, it's probably under your math button under probability. If you have an NCR or NPR and it's right on your calculator, you might have to do like a shift or a second. You might also just have a PRB button. So instead of a math button, instead of your function being underneath, maybe your calculator has its own probability button, PRB button. So like this one has like a sine button, a cosine button, a tangent button. Yours might actually have a PRB button. So you're looking for the probability, you're looking for the NPR and the NCR. If you can find those and you can use them, so what I would suggest you do is go back on your notes and try a couple just to make sure that you know how to use your calculator right. You're allowed to use your calculator on your test. So that would save you a lot of work and a lot of errors. So make sure that you know how to show me your setup and use your calculator, and you can use this trick on your Chapter 11 test, okay? All right, let me know if you have any questions. I hope that helped.